That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat!
Yes, it's recording. So. Does my hair look alright?
I'm pretending to be frozen. I thought you were going to see if I was frozen or not. Yeah, your hair looks lovely.
You need to give it longer than that. Well, it's not going to work now, is it? Because I know what you're playing at. Well, I'm booked in for a cut on Thursday morning. In a bit. Don't know why I'm.
Thursday morning, I can cut your hair if you want.
I don't know why I'm talking to you about haircuts. Really?
I can cut your hair. I've got a few white hairs in my beard now.
Yeah.
Just here. You see 'em? I've got one. I've got one there.
Wow, that's a long fella.
Yeah, I'm growing it. Heidi keeps wanting to pull it off.
Pull it. That'll hurt, really, isn't it?
Heidi keeps wanting to pull that out, but I'm trying to grow it. Oh, it's falling out. No, it's a black one.
Right, I'll cut this bit out and we'll start properly now. I'm never quite sure how to start. It normally is just going alright.
We should do an excited one.
An excited one?
Yeah.
Alright then, after 3, we will just on the spot think of something exciting to do. Ready? Right, so this is going to be the start. We'll cut it from here. 3, 2, 1. Should we do it again? Is that alright?
Start again, one more time.
3, 2, 1.
Hello.
All right. Das Kapichat. Das Kapichat. Das Kapichat. Right. So we got Doc Mason in 10 minutes, which is cool. Doc Mason has been interviewing me and the bands I've been in for about 5 years now, I think. So it's very cool to ask him some questions for a change.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to know about his life, but definitely.
Yeah.
We got into it all and all that.
Yeah.
It's really good. He's a great supporter of the local music scene, and that's what we're all about, really. We've got to keep those people doing their thing. That's awesome. So, do you know much about him?
No. Like I said, I've met him tons of times now. I've been on his radio show, God knows how many times. But don't think I've ever asked him a question. It's all about me. Tonight.
You like it, and so you normally like it.
Tonight is about him.
Yeah.
And local music.
And local music.
Because we have some really good stuff going on around here. We don't want to be global and get famous around the world. We want to keep it local.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's some great bands around. I say around here, but I'm actually in Derrick on the borders of Scotland, so I don't know if there's some great bands around here at the moment. So but there's some great bands around.
Wet. Yes, he was Scotland.
Derrick?
I'm just talking Scotland, Texas.
American, surely.
You'd think so with a name like Texas.
Yeah. Misleading if not.
But the band Inverness were actually American. So.
Oh dear. Mogwai, good. They're American. No, they're Scottish.
Ben and Sebastian, Scottish.
Arab Strap.
Yep. Biffy Clyros.
The old Biffies. Mon the Biffs. Eurosayat Sura.
Biss.
Biss. Sure. Can you pull it up?
Just don't make the music stop. Right. I've got a little game to play with you quickly.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm struggling here with technology as usual. I pride myself on the use of technology, and then when it comes to it...
So you know, because I'm on a different setup, my camera is up here, but my computer screen is down there. So I'm looking down a lot, whereas I should be looking there. But if I'm looking there, I can't see the screen.
Right. Got it. I'll be mindful of that, whatever that means. So, Doc Mason. Doc is not his real name.
No.
His real name is Reginald Dwight, from memory. So,
Is it?
I think that's him anyway. Rings a bell. Right, so I thought we'd look at some other docs whose real name are not actually Doc. It's just either a character or, well, here we go. Let me see if this works. Okay, so who's this chap in the middle here?
That's Doc from Back to the Future. Doc Emmett Brown, isn't it?
That's it.
Dr. Emmett Brown.
Emmett Brown. I've got an 0800 number ringing me. Shall I answer it?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Hello? No, I'm not answering that. Could be anything. Okay, yeah, Dr. Emmett Brown, Back to the Future.
Okay, Dr. Martins. Yeah, Doc Martins.
Which is also the name of an ITV, I believe, detective series with Martin Clunes in it. Doc Martins.
That one? Remember Him Badly? Is that?
That's him. That is him, but it's not the same program. Okay, what's next?
That is Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. I think from a previous episode of Das Kapichat, we've discovered that you've got no interest in Doctor Who, and neither do I really.
No, it doesn't interest me in the slightest bit.
However, this man is Scottish.
Okay, so that's a link to Doc Mason.
Yeah. Because you're in Scotland, and tonight you're speaking to Doc Mason, so...
But there's a link. Tenuous at best, but...
No, do you know who that woman is there?
That is... don't know. Who is it?
That's Billie Piper.
Billie Piper.
Also
Was
known
she singer?
Yeah, she was a pop singer, also married to Christopher Evans, the ginger chap. She also...
Ruined Gaza.
What's that?
Ruined Gaza at its prime. Chris Evans did.
He did you?
Chris Evans did.
He
Chris
ruined
Evans. Yeah, Chris Evans, Danny Baker, all them lot, real bad influence. Used to get him drinking, going out on the piss all the time.
I've not heard of this allegation before, that they're to blame for the demise of Paul Gascoigne.
That's just my theory. But it's, I think he was doomed anyway, to be fair, but he didn't help.
Yeah. No, we'll have a football episode another day that'll alienate tons of people.
Yeah, perfect.
This?
Oh, that is Google Docs.
Google Docs. What we got here?
No, I don't know that one.
I think Otis Redding.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Yep.
So there's just the docks.
Dock of a bay. Yeah.
Dock of a bay. Right, okay, yeah.
I was struggling with people called Doc, so I don't know if there's any more. Oh, here we go.
Dock lead.
Yeah, a dock lead.
Yeah. Good if you well, it's handy. That's next to a stinging nettle, doesn't it? Don't you rub yourself with a dock leaf if you.
They always are. Have you not noticed that? Always next to stinging nettles, there's a dock leaf.
Well, coincidence, really, isn't it?
It's either a coincidence or nature knows what it's doing.
Nature is good.
Don't know whether nature's that good. I think it's just a coincidence, really. Oh, one more.
What the hell is that? I don't know who that is. Who's that? He looks amazing, though. Who is he?
Come on. He talks to the animals.
Oh, Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, Dr. Dolittle. When I was searching for Dr. Dolittle images, there's been about 25 different Dr. Dolittles over the years.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy
came first, didn't he?
Yeah. Eddie Murphy. So that's it.
Oh, I like it. You know, you had Doc Brown, Dr. Emmett Brown.
Yep.
There's also a kind of comedian, rapper type person called English guy called Doc Brown as well.
Oh,
It's really good. Really good.
nice. Well, we've got 2 minutes until the real Reginald Dwight is here. The other thing I was going to mention as well is a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that we had 29 subscribers on YouTube. I've just looked, exponential growth. So I'm going to go to the doctors tomorrow with that. But
I'm in the right room for it.
hey,
Hey,
59.
really?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
we've gained 30 subscribers. So thank you if you're watching this.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, genuinely, thank you.
Why are you subscribing?
I don't know why you're watching this.
But, yeah.
Seriously, got nothing better to
Thank
do.
you.
But keep watching.
Yeah, we've got loads of good content coming.
Have we? Oh, that's what people say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
I'm just pointing at my thing now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say penis on camera.
I've got a good view from my hotel room.
Well, you,
Huh?
you shared this earlier with me, your view from your hotel room. It's a roof, isn't it?
There's a roof, and then beyond the roof there's a McDonald's.
And I did notice when I zoomed in on the McDonald's picture, on the sign on the wall, you're not going to be able to see this, I don't think. No, this doesn't work. There's a big sign on the wall that says "Good Times."
Is it? I need to see this myself.
Yep, under the McDonald's sign, a giant sign that says "Good Times."
That's made me cheerful now. Cheerful to be in a hotel, in a travel lodge.
Well, I've been another bit of news before Doc gets here. A big news day today. It's been a comment on Facebook. I put on the video of me practicing the acoustic version of, well, the acoustic song I remember. And I've been asked, do you think he would play for us when we have our Christmas in July? So I've been asked to play at a Christmas party in July.
Who's that then?
It's the mother of Lara Blake, Kate
Oh.
Blake. Hi, Kate. Oh, right, Doc's in the waiting room. Ready?
When you say
Right.
waiting room, that's why I've got my hat like this, so I look like I'm in Fugazi.
I'm now letting him in. All right.
Yeah.
Be sensible, because this is a proper interview.
Wait.
Where is he?
Where is he?
Oh, there.
Hey!
Ah, look at that setup.
Hello?
Look at that.
He's a pro. Look at that. What you got there?
What's that?
You got about 100 computers on the go.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
This is my workroom, but my workroom conservatory.
Right. It looks like the spy room. Like you got loads of different kind of cameras set up all over the place, and you're just
There's
checking
only
things
one
out.
camera.
Like it. Ramon's cushion as well. Sorry, I'm just checking out your house now, Doc.
Yeah.
That's all right,
What
mate.
else you got?
There's a Rolling Stones cushion there as well.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see that one.
Pink one at the back next to Ramone's. I'll turn it round for you. There you go. You can see the pink tongue now.
Yes, we got it.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
How are you, Doc? You well?
Yeah, I'm cool, mate. How are you?
All right. I'm all right. I'm stuck up in Berwick in a travel lodge.
Oh, you what are you
Living the
doing up
dream.
there?
I'm doing some work. It's
Oh, what do you
really
work?
not exciting.
What do you do?
Again, really not excited. I work on potato machines.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm going to a potato factory tomorrow. So
It's your belt.
Yeah. So we've been quite excited for this, Doc, because we were just talking about how, certainly with me, I've been in your
Oh, you
studio.
got Tony Wilshaw photo behind you. Well done. When we was drinking in Stanton.
Yeah, we have to have Tony with us, don't we? Anywhere you go, Tony has to be there. So
Sure.
we thought he'd like this. So yeah, we've been looking forward to tonight, Doc, because I've been in your studio many times. I've spoken to you and played music with different bands. So it's genuinely exciting to have you on tonight
Thank you.
to talk with you.
I'm not sure if I'm sort of in trepidation or not, depending on what questions you ask.
we don't know yet. So the shoe is on the other foot tonight. You are the one facing the questions for a change.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is a bit different, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So we'll see what we can throw at you. Before we start, though, I always throw over to Steve to do an introduction. So, Steve, who is this?
So, everybody, this is Doc Mason. He's got the best local radio show for all the local music in the Peterborough region, and actually he's playing a lot of worldly music at the moment as well, to be honest. Must be getting sent songs from all over the place, but he is is at the forefront of promoting the local music around the Peterborough region, and is an absolute legend for doing that, because there are so many bands on his show playing live and just playing their records on there, and it's amazing. I'm rambling now. Yeah. This is Doc Mason.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Let's start with the radio show then. Before we start traveling back in time to your influences and stuff, I really want to talk about the radio show. When did it start, Doc? Because I first came on your show at the old studio. It must be 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah. I think it's coming up to 9 years ago.
Right. And how did that start?
As you know, I'm a computer engineer. I just went to do some work around someone's house, and I could tell they was really into music and that, because they had a massive album collection. So I just got stuck chatting about music and politics and stuff like that. And she just mentioned to me that she did a radio show. And she said, "Oh, you've got quite an interesting voice. Would you be interested in coming on to be a guest?" So I said, yeah. Went on to be a guest. And they said, "Oh, it's a training course to be like a radio presenter." Sort of said, "Oh, I don't know about that." But anyway, after a couple of email prompts from me, I went along to the training session and never really went back after that point, sort of thing. And the lady's name was Vivian Ahmed. And we did some radio shows together. And then I went on to do my first radio show by myself, which basically all I did was play the songs that I really liked. For a few shows. And then after that, somebody sent me an email in, I think it was Russell, I can't remember his name now, and said, "Oh, I'll be interested to come on and play a guest slot and stuff like that." So I thought, yeah, all right, then come on then. And there's like a keyboard player and a female singer, and it sort of snowballed from there to every once a month I was getting a guest band in, and then it was every week, so then I just had to carry on with it, sort of thing. It just snowballed and I lost control of it, really.
So have you done it pretty much every week for 9 years, or have you had a big break at any point? No,
I'd say there was one time for about 3 months I had a break, and that was when I was refurbishing the Peterborough FM studios down in Norfolk Street, but that's the only time, really. Yeah, I mean, you can go onto SoundCloud, and I don't think some of the early shows are on there, but there's probably a good 6 or 7 years worth of radio shows and live sessions on there. Yeah.
Any idea how many bands you've had on?
None at all. No, I've never counted them, I must admit. No.
And how do you decide who's going to come on? Is it whoever bugs you the most?
No. Well, usually most of the people who come on, I'll probably know them for some way or another, either from the Peterborough music scene, or they've sent in quite a few tracks to this show, so I'm pretty familiar with their music. Every now and again, I'll take a risk on somebody. I'll say, "Well, send me another track, and yeah, you can come on," and stuff like that. So yeah. So,
and you must play. Sorry, Steve, go on.
No, I was going to say, do you play everything that people send to you, or
no?
Right. Okay, so there is a bit of kind of
yeah, there's a bit of censorship goes on. Yeah, if I play, I do have certain standards, so I unfortunately do get people send tracks into me where the vocals are out of tune, or it's just rehearsed in a practice room, so it's not properly mixed, and that's just a shame. So usually I'm just like, well, can you send me one when you've been into the studio and recorded, the track correctly? Yeah. Or sometimes I'll just be quite blunt and say, "I'm very sorry, but your vocals are out of tune."
So. Well, sometimes people need to be told anyway, don't they?
I find honesty is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Mm.
Of course it is. I used to work in a years ago when I was 18. I did some work in a recording studio in the village that I lived in, and the only people that ever came in there were people who had been told all their child lives that they can sing like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, and so we'd have a backing track there, and they'd be singing along to it. Oh, it's horrible to listen to, and but they're never told that they're rubbish, but it's or that they're out of tune, not rubbish. So they can probably work.
I would say every out of 10 tracks that's sent to me, 9 will get through and 1 will get rejected most of the time. You know,
that's pretty good ratio. Then there's some good music coming your way if there's that many. Through. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've just had an email out of the blue from a band in France, which would be quite good. You know, so yeah, do seem to receive quite a few tracks from Belgium and France. You know, so.
Why is that then? Do you think? Do you know people out there or?
No, I don't. No, I don't really. You know, there's people listen to the radio show. Strangely enough, from all over the world, you can sort of tell when you listen. To, go onto your SoundCloud because it's a SoundCloud Pro site. You can break down the listening audience, and you know, it's surprising sometimes where you find people listening from. You know, so. And I know there's people listening from Belgium and France and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think tonight we're going to do a lot of name dropping of artists that we know and from the area. So here's the first one. You've mentioned Belgium, so I'm going to mention Dan Donovan because I know he goes over to Belgium quite a lot.
Yes, he does.
He's always praising kind of the music scene over in kind of the garage punk and that kind of thing in Belgium. So it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. And it's only a good thing, isn't it, that you've got bands from Belgium and France, etc., because they get some exposure over here. They see the band names such as Das Kapitans and other people.
Sure. Yeah.
They might take it back over there to Belgium and share with people. So it's all about sharing music, isn't it? And I guess one of the questions I had for you tonight was, what do you get from this, Doc? Because as musicians, we get a buzz out playing and recording, hearing our songs on the radio. What do you get out of it?
Doing a radio show, strangely enough, is very, very therapeutic. Mm-hmm. I sometimes get very, very busy work-wise, and the 2 hours in the studio fly past like it's only sort of half an hour or something like that. And I'm one of these people, I just consume music anyway. You know, I'm always on the lookout for the next big thing or, something to listen to while I'm driving in the car and stuff like that. So every now and again, I get my SD card out of the car, move some tracks onto it and, drive along listening to them and stuff like that. So, yeah. I do consume a lot of music. It's just one of those things I've always done. And it just gives me great pleasure to expose. I'm like, oh, that's a fantastic track. That deserves to be heard by a wider audience. Mm-hmm. And that's really my philosophy. There's so much local talent around that it's unbelievable. And then there's just a wider area of people from Northampton and Cambridge and stuff like that, Yeah. But, there's a lot of people who really deserve exposure and some really, really talented people, That's the thing that bugs me. A lot of these talented people never get a break.
No. I mean, this is the thing now because anybody can now sit at home as we're doing and make 12 albums in a year or make songs at home of really good, quite good quality production and recording. Yeah. There's so many out there, which is brilliant, but getting a break is bloody hard. When is it you get to listen to all these tracks are sent in? Do you do it in the car, or do you set time aside each week to listen to songs?
I have to set time aside each day. So right. I usually do it in the morning. Some days I'm really busy, and there might be 3 or 4 emails come in the day before, and depending on how busy I am, I'm like, right, I can't answer them today. I'm just too busy working. So then I usually have a set time, probably between 9 a.m. and sort of 9:45 to have a listen to them all. We're quite consuming as well because you've got to time consuming. You've got to sort of reply to each email, tell them what track you're playing, and then I sort of have to move all the tracks into a folder. Then I sort of tag them because most tracks are not tagged, and then I sort of do my own tagging. So I sort of like these people are from so and so and so and so, so wherever they're based and stuff like that. Then I'll organise it all. Wednesdays are the busiest day doing it. You can, because I organise it all into a playlist. Believe it or not, I just don't. Mm-hmm. Put them in the way they're sent to me. I'll sort of like, I'll play that track and then I'll play that track and then I'll play that track. So it's all sort of a little bit orchestrated. And so hopefully it makes like a soundscape in a way.
Yeah, it usually does. It's usually a good, it usually sounds really good all the way through it. I'm always impressed with 99% of the songs that go on there. There's something that I don't like, but it's just not my style. But generally, I like everything that's going on.
I mean, I have to generally if it's a local act, it doesn't really bother me what genre they are.
No.
Any genre that I get sent up by any sort of local act, 30, 40 miles radius of Peterborough, I will play it as long as the production's up, and even if I don't like the genre myself because it's supporting local acts. If I'm further afield, if it's something I don't like, then I won't play it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I found some good music from listening to yours. I found like Beth Lancaster, for example.
Oh yeah, she's a very,
amazing.
very interesting artist.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah.
The lyrics are really deep. Yeah, they are. Really, I don't know how she manages to fit all that many lyrics into the songs, even, to be honest. Because I do about 5 lines on my songs, but she's got pages and pages and pages of lyrics, and she's young. It's ridiculous.
Personal psychoanalyst, as I say, put to music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. No, she's impressive. It's good.
Reminded me now. I'm gonna have to invite her on for a session. I forgot about her.
Yeah, you should do, yeah. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Certainly, Doc, from if I can call us artists, from an artist point of view, we really appreciate the work that you do put in on a weekly basis to make the show happen. Because we really appreciate it. Bring everyone together like this. It does mean a lot. And just right, I know, because I do all the band admin. Steve doesn't do any of that. He just writes songs. He's got it easy. But
he does write good songs. Got to give him that.
I do a lot of the email side of it, and it is really time consuming, isn't it? It really is.
Yes, yeah.
It is important. And I saw a video on your Facebook the other day. I think she's a female kind of pop R&B singer who sent a video of her, of how excited she was.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I thought that summed up the whole sort of show, really. Yeah.
And it is that never stops. I was driving my car home from work the other night and listening to it, and there's Fizz Wallace comes on, and then there's us, and that never. It doesn't matter how many times you hear your song. It doesn't matter what radio station it is. It's so exciting to hear your song on the radio, and to think, thank you, Doc, for choosing that song and put it on the radio. It's such a nice feeling that no, you never get bored.
It's nice to know and appreciate. Back in the day when I was in bands, chances of getting a track played on the radio was, nigh on impossible, but at least there's proliferation of, different radio stations and online radio stations and stuff like that, where people can send tracks into, because I know there's plenty of them around.
And I think me and Steve need to say thank you more than most this year, to be honest.
No, but your tracks, all your songs are good, so that's it. And you're putting out them new stuff every week. So, I'm not playing repeats. It's the same from, quite a few people are quite productive, really. You'd be surprised how often the name of an artist will come up again and again, because they must be recording stuff at home all the time.
I think we've got the advantage of being quite productive, but also being quite good with the software and everything, and knowing how to do it all. There's going to be so many people who are writing songs but don't have that ability.
I mean, that's a skill within itself, isn't it? I mean, my daughters have been Leeds learning music, and what's the software you use on Macs?
Logic.
Yeah, Logic Pro. Yeah. So I was
having
a tutorial with her at the same time, and I was like, I'm lost already.
Is she at the Leeds College of Music?
Yes. Yeah.
Is she? My eldest is there, or just finished there.
Is she?
Yeah, she's just done her final year. So
good experience for her.
Loved it. Yeah, I wish that course was available when I was going into university and everything, because I would have done that rather than what I did. But it's it's a good city as well, isn't it? Yes.
So I'm looking forward to the end of lockdown, so I can get up there and have a few nights out in Leeds. So. Go and see some bands,
Yeah.
There's a band from Leeds called Birdham. That's sort of, I think that's how it's spelled, or Bedroom. Like sort of like a shoegaze band.
Yeah.
And they're getting quite a bit of airplay. I'd like to go and see them here and there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chance.
So you've mentioned lockdown there. How's it been for you? Has it affected how you do the radio show? It's obviously affected gigs for you?
Yeah, the radio show. At one point, I was producing it all at home and recording it at home, and sending it into the radio station. But each time lockdown eased, I've gone back to the studio because I prefer to do it that way. If I cock up, it's a cock up, and that's just it. Whereas if you're sort of trying to do it at home, you make a mistake, you're like, well, I'll leave that bit and I'll carry on again, and there's another mistake, I'll leave it, and then you end up with an hour or two editing the radio show, trying to make it sound perfect. And then it all sounds a little bit artificial the time you finish with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do much prefer just whizzing through it in the radio station, and that's right. I have good radio shows and I have bad radio shows when it comes to presenting. I wouldn't class myself as a professional.
I love hearing it when you do the little mistakes. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what quite a few people say. They say, "Oh well, it's the mistakes you make that make the show." You know, as much as anything else. You know, so yeah.
So
I must admit now, I've got myself very professional. I even type up notes and. You know, I'm prepared before I go and do it. I used to write my notes in like a book, but sometimes I couldn't read my own handwriting. So I thought, right, I'm going to type them all up now, print them all out, and away we go. And most of the time, it works a lot better. Yeah,
I like it sometimes when you you go off on a trail sometimes talking to yourself and you don't know how you got there. And
that's right.
You have to stop yourself and go, oh, I don't know what I'm on about there. And it does just remind me a little bit of John Peel. He used to ramble on a little bit as well. And
it's really nice to be compared to John Peel because I used to listen to John Peel all the time. You know, when I was a lad, I used to work in the factory night shifts, and I used to listen to John Peel. You know, and it's one of the things that kept me sane in the factory. You know.
And it is like that. These kind of small radio stations that are popping up and the radio show you do, it does remind me a lot of those kind of times. I know it's completely different because that was on the wireless, if you like. Yeah. But it is very similar kind of setup and just the conversation and the acts that are being played and stuff. It's really cool. Really, really.
I enjoy the sort of diversity of the show. So it's not just. I know there are radio shows that sort of concentrate on one genre, but I like people to think sometimes they don't really know what's coming next.
Mm-hmm. No, well, that's good.
And this is what we're saying as well. We're trying everything we can to promote local bands as well of different genres. So, I mean, we like a lot of different stuff between me and Steve anyway. So it would be stupid of us to say we're only going to promote punk bands because we're into more than that. So, so no, and I think I've got to do another name drop here because we were talking about bands who can be quite prolific sometimes. I can't believe that Fizz Wallace wrote that solo album over Christmas. I think that album is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, she's quite a prolific artist as well. Yeah. And she's another one who's skilled at doing it as well. You know, another artist whose lyrics have really some good meanings to them. And, you know, I call her the punk poetess of Peterborough. Mm-hmm. You know, I've known her for a long time. It goes back to one of the first Willow festivals that ever returned, you know, down on the embankment quite a long time ago. And she turned up outside. We had this little touring caravan when we set up a little mobile studio outside one of the tents at the Willow Festival. And she just come walking up and said, "Oh, would you be interested in doing an interview?" And I'll come in the caravan and play some live tracks. And that was it. Off we went. You know, you can still listen. You can still find that on SoundCloud. Yeah.
Check that one out. Yeah, it's really cool.
She just make a great live guest. And I'm never, to be honest, I like a solo work and I like the band work, and I can never make my mind up which one I like the best. Really, to be honest, you know.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot now. Have you got any favourite artists from over the years of doing the radio show?
Ooh. Well, like we've already mentioned Don Donovan. It's always a pleasure to have Dan on the show, without a doubt, and Fizz Wallace, of course. Burning Codes used to be one of my favourite bands that used to come in quite a lot. And I'm sure there's the guys from Huntingdon, which I can't even remember the name of. Here we go. A bluesy style band, got Mark Wilson and stuff like that. Mojo Slide.
Yeah.
You know, they're another band, you know, a favourite of mine, really. But then there's like individual artists, you know, like Chloe Loretson, very, very young lady who's very talented as well. So I'd be hard pushed to choose a favourite, really. It's like when somebody says to you, "What's your favourite track?" Yeah. "What's your favourite album?" It's impossible because you know, there's so much music. It depends on my mood, the time of day, whether I'm drunk or I'm sober, or what I'm going to stick on, sort of thing. You know, so it's hard to choose a favourite track.
No, it's a cruel question. I noticed this week that we had Mark Ringer on the show as well, with Dan Donovan doing the vocals.
Yeah, that was a brilliant track. Yeah.
Really good. So I think Mark's doing a few things, isn't he? Now, as the Cast Off Collective.
Yes. Yeah. I thought about asking him on the show, but then it'd be quite difficult because he's using quite a lot of different musicians, you know, and he'd be swapping around all the time. So and it'd be hard for them to be rehearsed to be able to do a set sort of thing. You know?
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit, Doc. We want to know a bit more about you. Where it all started for you with music. Do you remember the first music you were into? Do you remember the first thing you bought?
I don't remember the first album I bought. I know I had Queen's Sheer Heart Attack, their very first album. I know I had that. And so probably, I mean, I was just 16 when punk came out. So, you know, sort of the first music I really did get into was punk, you know, so more than anything else. I sort of used to listen to the rock shows that used to be on a Saturday afternoon on Radio 1. I think they used to cross over into Radio 2 and stuff like that. So I used to lie there with my headphones on listening to it, you know. Of course, I used to listen to top 40 on the radio when I was younger and stuff like that. But yeah, I think punk really did. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the first band I was in. That's the Black Sky. There we go.
Really?
Oh, look at you.
I know, yeah. That's a picture of us when we were on. Let's have a look at that. No, that's a picture of us. Don't know what graveyard that is, but yeah. There's Shop on Nandi in the back there, who's a very good bass player. Yeah.
What did you do in the band?
I was a growler.
What year was this?
Oh, that's probably late 1980s. I don't know, it's probably around 88, 89, something like that. Yeah.
Looks like you got a mobile phone popping out your pocket.
I know, I've looked at that before and I thought, but now there's an iPhone out of my pocket. I mean, I must have been a time traveller at the time or something like that.
Yeah. I've got a couple more photos here as well that I hope you don't mind. I've pulled off your Facebook. If you hang on a second, just get the old screen share going.
Oh yeah, that was in my new romantic days.
I love those trousers.
They're amazing.
I always have and always will be a big David Bowie fan. Yeah, so them trousers are sort of Bowie kegs, and I was a big fan of Gary Newman at the time as well. So yeah, quite into futurism and stuff like that. I still love David Bowie, and I still like Gary Newman, to be honest. Yeah.
And
That guy in the suit with the tie on, was he in your band or was he just happened to be walking past?
That's just one of my friends, you know what I mean? Because I used to dress a bit outrageously like that. I can't remember how it happened. Somewhere along the line, you know, the Indian Telegraph wanted to do a shoot, and that was it, you know. So
I thought he was a reporter for him or something.
A lot of people said that would made a good band photo, but you know, we wasn't a band. We were just a bunch of posers.
No, I presume that was the band. No, you don't. Hang on a minute then. What else we got? Hang on. This was all Peterborough, was it?
Yeah. I'm a born and bred Peterborough. Yeah.
You've always been there.
I've always been here. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's a good picture.
Yeah, that's at the Crescent. We supported a band called Gay Bikers and Acid. Yeah.
I know that name actually. Why do I know that name?
Yeah. They're sort of a pretty averagely well-known band in sort of Leicester area, I think they were, and stuff like that. Yeah, sort of timing crazy head and all them sort of people kicking around. We got a support slot on that. It was quite lucky, really, because the main support band didn't turn up. So we was only supposed to have 15 minutes, but so we ended up with like 45, which is really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good picture as well.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm young in that one. I think that's from the same gig. Yeah.
What are your memories of that time? Did you really enjoy it?
Yeah. I really, really did enjoy it. We was quite lucky, really. We was reasonably successful. You know, we played up and down the country and toured a lot. Two of us were working in the same factory, but when we had holidays, we would go on tour and stuff like that. And we even went on tour to Czechoslovakia for 2 weeks.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, all paid for and everything, because we sort of used to do. There used to be fanzines and stuff like that them years ago, and then you know you read about a band in a fanzine, and I think when like every New Dead Ghost they came from Nottingham, so I got in contact with them, and they just sort of said, look, we do quite well with our gigs in Peterborough. We get quite a few gig, you know, people are attending our gigs. So would you want to come to Peterborough and do a gig, be support band, and then when you get a gig in Nottingham, can we come up there to support you? And then there was like a whole group of people sort of organised that, and so everybody sort of, 7 or 8 different sort of bands just organise tours and get support slots from them and stuff like that. So you wasn't on your own when you went out and, turned up at a place and nobody's ever heard you. If the local band is pretty well known, at least you can have an audience, So
yeah, absolutely. Did you record at all with them?
Yeah. I've got the tracks up on SoundCloud. There's a few of them here. Yeah, you can dig them out.
Gotta find those.
We need to talk about them quickly. How can we find them if anyone wants to hear them? What's the band name?
I think they're the Black Sky.
The Black Sky.
I think they're on my personal SoundCloud account. There's a Black Sky Facebook page as well. The Black Sky UK, I think there is. Yeah.
All right. Well,
pictures and some tracks scattered around. They've taken off tape. There was not, CDs were just coming around, and then most of our stuff was released on tape. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll link them in the.
Thank you very much. Yeah, people can have a good laugh. But no, at the time we was quite successful, and we had a fantastic time. The band probably ran for about 4 years, and I didn't regret any of it at all. Like I say, it was pretty. I mean, it's like that gay biker gig between it. Like the management was so upset with them, the support band, that they never turned up. They turned around and offered us the rest of the tour. And thing was, we was all work, we all had daytime jobs. We just couldn't go walking in and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be in for the next 2 weeks. I'm going on tour with a a band," So, but at the same time, I look back and I think, I should have done that really, because they were getting a bit of press and they was getting reviews in Enemy and Sounds magazines and stuff like that. So we might have got a little bit further, but yeah, it was a great time. I don't regret none of it, and I've lived quite an exciting life in my youth. So there we go.
And when was the last band you were in? When did that all stop?
Probably about 15 years ago. So it might be a bit longer. Yeah, probably a bit longer, really, to be honest. Kids, probably more like nearly 20 years ago, perhaps. Yeah. So I've been in 2 or 3 bands with Tony Ruleshaw. They're the bands I've mostly been in with Toe. It's just like when kids come along, so. And children were born, you need a lot of time to be in bands. And I had 3 children, all under the age of 5. And there's no way I could carry on being in a band. It's just, if you're going to do it, you've got to give it your time and dedication.
No, you have. If you're going to do it properly, it's a proper commitment, isn't it? You've got to, if we were ever to want to make something properly of what we're doing, we'd have to quit the jobs and go on tours and everything like that. And you can't do it, can you?
I mean, like even rehearsing. That's what I think I appreciate about bands and solo artists and stuff like that, because I know the time and effort they put in writing the songs and putting them all together and rehearsing them. And so I know where they're coming from. It takes a lot of dedication, and sometimes it takes a lot of money as well. Mm-hmm. Your personal money. I know a lot of people record at home and they've got their own equipment, but still the software and the computers, they all take a lot of investment to be able to do it.
Yeah, they do, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how difficult it is to get 4 people together in a room to rehearse.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah.
With everyone working, having kids, getting up early the next day, all this kind of stuff. And then booking a room, because Peterborough is not blessed with tons of rehearsal studios. It's blessed with a couple of really good rehearsal studios, and I need to mention Full Circle. We love that place. That's where Fuzz and the Felts were doing our rehearsals.
Yeah.
So no, let's talk Peterborough for a minute.
It's a big problem for people finding rehearsal space. It always has been. So
you don't realise how many bands actually are in Peterborough until you start trying to book rehearsal space.
Well, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of bands in Peterborough. A lot of musicians as well.
Yeah.
We was very lucky. Our bass player his father owned he was a printer, so he had a printing press and a industrial unit. So we used to be able to go down there in an evening. He was on an industrial estate away from it, just not very close to anybody really. Yeah. And we used to be able to rehearse in the industrial unit to our heart's content.
Yeah.
But I know it's a big problem, rehearsal studios. And like I say, got to be dedicated once a week. Used to drive my guys once a week, every week, guys. Come on.
Yeah. We talk about Peterborough for a minute.
Sure.
I mean, I've always lived in this area near Wiz Beach. Steve's always been kind of Norfolk, Kings Lynn way, but you perhaps know Peterborough a bit better than we do.
Yeah.
How has that changed over the years? Was it ever good for music?
I think it. What I mean, from my days when I was a punk, probably up to when the time of the Norfolk closed, I think there was a good chance for people to organise their own gigs and their own shows quite easily. I mean, the Crown, literally, you could literally walk into there and say, look, I'd like to put on two or three bands, and he'd get out his diary, and that was it, job done. You've got a night on straight away, you know. And another place where I used to put a lot of bands on was a place called Shamrock Club that used to be down near the market in Peterborough. And quite a few sort of big bands, you know, there's been quite a few sort of name-ish British big bands used to play down there. I think Chris Lover used to put on quite a few bands down there, and his Club from No Name and stuff like that. And back in the day when I was sort of like into punk music, they used to be like St Barnabas Hall used to be one place, just like a church hall down Taverners Road that people could put bands on. And a more legendary place was the Marcus Garvey Club that used to be around sort of the area of the gasworks, Wellington Street and stuff like that. And that was a black people's club, and but there used to be a lot of punk gigs put on there, and that's how I got into reggae music, because you had to go into the bar around the back to go to the toilet and buy a drink, and there was like sound systems going on at the same time. So I can understand how the two-tone scene got created, you know. So that's where some of the first punk gigs went on in Peterborough, was at that club.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Lloyd, who you know, who's in Fuzz and the Felts, grew up in Peterborough, so he talks about the Shamrock as well.
Yeah.
He talks about seeing some big bands there. I think he said the other day the Verve played there back in the day.
I think that's true. Yeah. And of course, there was a arena in the day where a lot of bigger national bands played, like the Buzzcocks and, you know, Stranglers and all people like that. So yeah, I think it's harder for people to set up a gig independently. That's the thing now, you know, whereas once upon a time you could set up gigs independently. I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet too much, but we sort of started off Black Skull. We started a scene off down the Peacock, you know, because our first gig, bless them, at the Crown that we had booked, they double booked us with a wedding reception, and we only found out about 3 days before. So went wandering into the Peacock down London Road and said, "Oh, any chance we gig this weekend?" And he said, "Well, you can have this room." And usually the Peacock was known for having cover bands on. So, but anyway, we got it down and we moved the gig down there, and we slowly started putting on gigs ourselves and other bands and the Brides and a few more. It's a bit of a goth band, so it's a bit goth orientated, but quite a few people started putting on gigs down there. So it created quite a good scene for a while, the Peacock, where there was regular gigs on down there and stuff like that. Yeah. Original music and punk and this, that, and the other, goth music.
So you were putting on quite recently. I know you were, because I played at it with Burning Codes. Was it Doc Fest? Is that what we called it?
Yeah.
How many Doc Fests were there?
I think there's been 2 so far. There might have been 3, but no, I think there's been 2. Yeah, I think there's been 2. Yeah.
Is that going to continue?
I'd love to do it again. I really would. And spoke about it amongst the team, because there's not just only me who does the show. I must say there's 4 or 5 of us who do the show at the same time. So, which I really should say big thanks to like Tony Wilshaw, you know, Paul Biggins, who does the sound, and Michael Day, who helps out with notes and stuff like that, and Jack Fulburn, who's gone on to University of Nottingham. He's doing like a music production course and stuff like that. But he often comes back and helps out on the show sort of thing. So yeah, there's a whole team of us when we have the bands in the studio and stuff like that. So, and although they all say that they will help out, it is so time consuming. I'm not sure if I've actually got time to do it again. So I'm still sort of pondering. I'd love to do it, but I'm not sure if I've actually got time to do it.
Yeah.
Time.
I think it does need a team of people on it, doesn't it?
It does need a team of people on it. Yeah. Last time I did it all myself, and it's just like I think in a way the sort of lockdown, the radio show has evolved because obviously we've been known for having live bands in the studio, and then I thought, right, I'll do this unsigned thing, and that sort of spread across, you know, not just locally but across the country and past the continent, and then get tracks coming in from Australia and places like that. It has sort of put me on a bit of a spot, really. In a way, it sort of got itself, and I've made this, like I say, I've improved the show myself I think there's more people listening to it now. I've got to get more professional. And so Push is going to, I mean, I'm going to have to sort of perhaps do some more self-censorship, because when we go back to live bands, there is not going to be that space for 26 to 28 tracks every week. That could cause me a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about, we would love to put on a day of bands.
Yeah.
We were going to do it. Well, we started talking about it last year, didn't we? We started.
Yeah, that's right. Down at Charters. Yeah.
Yeah, Fuzzfest. So we'd spoken to Charters and we were looking at it, and then obviously everything went a bit wrong.
Yeah.
But no, we still talk about it. So we'll have a separate conversation.
Perhaps we'll all team up a little bit and spread the burden a little bit. That's probably a good way of doing it.
This is what I'm saying, Doc. That I think between us, we could perhaps do something. You've heard it first.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have a chat about it.
Good idea. Yeah. Because I say it is a, you do need. It's just too much going on for me in my life. I want to be able to do it. I'd love to do it, but yeah, that's a good idea. We'll team up and do it.
We'll have a chat about that. Yeah, nice one.
I'll just play the music on the day and host and get drunk.
That's what we're going to do as well. So
everybody's volunteering for that.
we'll have a word with Tony. He can stay sober and do the admin.
Yeah. He's quite good at it, really, to be honest.
Yeah. You've just mentioned live bands there. So you've got a live band on the 20th of May, haven't you?
Yes, we have indeed. Who's that? That's yourself, wasn't it, Phelps? Yeah. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no. Well, thanks for the opportunity. I mean, we've been stuck in our bedrooms, separate bedrooms, for all year, writing music. We've not left the house. We've not had a chance to play anywhere. So our first ever outing as Das Kapitans is on your show. So
that's a great pleasure for me as well. I also enjoy it. I mean, that's the other thing about doing the show, which I find is amazing, is that you can sit in the studio and I can see a live band. And I didn't even have to pay to go and see them.
Perfect.
So do we get to be actually in the studio with you? Are you going to?
Not at the moment. You'll be in the other room, unfortunately. Yeah. There'll be a link between us. Yeah. We're still sort of maintaining some COVID precautions. So the main reception area is a much larger room, so everybody can still sort of keep their distance. Yeah. So.
No, that's cool. Really looking forward to it. I think we've got 2 weeks to learn the songs, Steve. The trouble is, because we've written how many songs this year? I don't know.
God almighty. At least 60 or so, more.
We don't pay attention now to how we play them, or then we go back to listen to it and we're like, I don't know. So I'm literally trying to figure out how you just play these acoustic songs at the minute.
I saw your little video the other night.
That one's got some more right comments on it, which was nice. So that's cool.
No, I'm looking forward to it. And so we have a rehearsal as well. Just the week before the show to test all our equipment to make sure that everything's going to work, because we've not used it all for a while. And so we're going to set it all up and give it a run through and check all the inputs and the outputs so we know what we've got going and it's all going to work.
Have you got any tickets for any kind of larger gigs booked?
No, not really. No. I mean, I'll go to quite a few local gigs, but any larger gigs, I've not really. Last big gig I went to was to see Sleaford Mods down in Hammersmith Palais. It's probably 18 months, 2 years ago now. Just before it was. I think it's about November or December, just around the time before COVID started spreading in the UK.
Yeah, is that the photo with them on Facebook that I saw earlier? Did you get a photo with them?
I did get a photo with them, and I got an autographed T-shirt as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but good bunch of guys. I mean, I was lucky. I got into Sleaford Mods really, really early. I read about them somewhere, and then I got some Sleaford Mods tracks, and that's why Tony's such a mad fan. And I read somewhere that they was playing in this pub in Boston. It was only a small pub. It was only like 100 tickets. So we headed on down there and had a bit of a mad night out. Yeah, Carpenter's Arms in Boston. Yeah. And my wife and Tony, I'm because I was driving because I was so desperate to go and see him. I said, I don't care if I don't get pissed. I just want to go and see him. So my wife and Tony, they got up and started, especially my wife, she's dancing around at the front and everything else like that. And Tony's Tony. And they made a film called A Bunch of Cunts, and they're both in it. because I was the one who's drove them down there. I sort of stood a little bit away from the back, and so I'm not actually in shot. And I was the one who discovered them. You know, that was the first time I went to see him was at the Carpenter's Arms in Boston, and the next time I went to see him was up in Hammersmith Palais. So yeah, quite a big difference, you know. So
they're doing quite well, aren't they? And yeah,
they are doing quite well. Yeah.
apparently nice blokes as well. So.
They are very, very nice guys. Yeah.
Before we finish up, Doc, I need to ask you how your weekend in Norfolk was. Did you have a nice time?
I love it, thanks very much. Yeah.
You go there. Do you go there quite regularly?
Yeah. I've got a static caravan down there for my singers. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts do you go roughly?
Heacham.
Yep.
Heacham. Yeah.
Nice bit of the country, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I was lucky enough to come buy some money and buy a van many moons ago when my children were little, 3 kids. My wife works in the school. Made perfect sense having a caravan, you know, and it's paid off during this time of pandemic, I must admit. Yeah. So that's where I shall be spending my 60th birthday this year, believe it or not.
And when is that, Doc? When's your birthday?
31st of July.
Right, 31st of July.
It's always in the summer, and always happy with that because it was always doing school holidays, and even when I worked in a factory, it was always doing shutdown of the factory. So I've very, very rarely ever had to work on my birthday. So.
Whilst we've been talking, I've just found another photo of you that clearly shows you enjoy your.
Well, yeah, the classic Das Kapitan beer shop.
That's my favourite photo of the year. That one.
That was a good shot. Yeah,
that wasn't even your birthday, was it? And look how much you got in there.
That was not my birthday, no. But I must admit, that was not all my beer, but it was a great photo opportunity. So I could not really ignore the chance sort of thing.
I was speaking to Neil Saunders before I came on here. He was telling me the reason he got back onto social media and stuff is because of you.
Honestly?
Because apparently you did put a message on your show that there's not enough characters out there.
That's true.
Apparently you name checked him.
Yeah.
And so he went all kind of and went straight back onto it.
That's true. I think there are some great characters in the sort of music business and the local music scene as well. I mean, he is definitely a great character and eccentric, and they're the sort of people I do really, really love. You know, so.
Have you heard any of his solo stuff that we're putting
out?
I've
not heard any of his solo stuff. I would like to hear it. Yeah,
I'll send you a couple of links to him. He's got he's got 2 going through our Socks On Records thing that we're doing. Yeah. He's got one under the name of Cliff Hazard with the album called Vertical Hold, which is brilliant. Yeah. And then another one is just released this week. Yeah, Duck Bum.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was thinking about your record label the other day, and I do get some tracks sent in from Melbourne in Australia from they are actually a record label, but I don't know. Next time they email me, I'm gonna say, "Oh, these guys have got themselves a record label going. Oh, it's only on Bandcamp, but it might be working while hooking up with them. You never sort of know."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't know what we're doing, so we're only doing it.
I'm sure most people don't when they first start a record label, or if they start doing a radio show, you don't really know what you're doing. You just just add, or even when you form a band, you sort of you're just filling your way along, really.
Exactly. We just know how difficult it is to get followers and stuff even on Bandcamp, just to get people to actually follow your music and listen to your music. And so the idea is for us to kind of group these bands together so that they can kind of share the same.
It's a great idea.
And then in theory, people will get more likes and more sales.
You've had your fair share of radio play abroad as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we're in Colombia the other day on a radio show. We get quite a few out in America, a lot in Italy. There's a radio show in Italy that's playing us every single week until Christmas. And so.
We get tracks sent into it from Italy. There are some really interesting bands here and there in Italy, without a doubt.
Yeah, there is.
It's
quite a scene out there.
Yeah.
A lot of these radio shows, we've got no idea how the songs made it over there. We get tagged on Facebook in a random radio show, like in Seattle or something, and we're like, it's interesting how stuff gets shared around without you knowing about it.
Well, I don't know, perhaps people forward things on to people, or they might even listen to somebody else's radio show and edit a track out and put it in there. You don't know how people do it, you know. So So all mine is sent to me anyway at the moment. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I think I'm up to 21 tracks this week so far at the moment. So I'm just waiting for the last 3 or 4 to come in or so, and that'll be me done.
So we'll finish up now, Doc. So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and asking you the questions for once. And it'll be your turn again on May the 20th to
Indeed, get my revenge.
go back to normal. So you're
No swearing this time on your show.
Well, no, usually people only say things like shit, and we've had the odd fuck now and again, but mostly it's shit. So I've had to edit a track today. That's one of the things. Somebody sent me one, and there was a fuck in it, so I've had to edit that out. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know why would people not know that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, can I just go on to one of my bugbears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really do annoy me, and that is Spotify links.
Yeah. What can you do with it? You can't do anything with it, can you?
Can't do nothing with it, you know. Or even YouTube. I mean, it's okay. If somebody emails you, so check out our video, and if you like it, we'll send you a track. That's fine. But Spotify links, you know, it's like, well, what can I do with that? I can't play it.
No.
You know, I'll be switching around the internet all night long, sort of jumping between Spotify tracks and stuff like that. You know, so it is one of those things that does rather annoy me, and I'm like, well, don't send me a Spotify track.
Now, if there's people listening or watching who want to send music to you and who haven't necessarily heard your show before, how would they go about sending music to you?
They just send me an email to docmason@sky.com. That's the easiest way. And attach an MP3 and a short bio. I don't need an encyclopedia.
No. And if anyone doesn't know, your radio show is on Thursday nights.
PCO FM at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. And then it is uploaded
to SoundCloud.
To SoundCloud.
Search out something like Doc Mason SoundCloud, and away you go. You'll find. Or if you just search Doc Mason Radio Show, it will come up about the fourth down.
Yeah.
You can listen to it on TuneIn Radio, and I think on Stitcher and through different listening platforms. Here and there. So there's plenty of you could probably listen. There's enough radio shows probably to listen to a different radio show for a couple of years, I should think.
Yeah.
Not after.
Is there anyone else you just want to mention or say hello to whilst we're here on the TV?
I'd like to thank it sounds cheesy, but my dear lady Kathy, you know what I mean? She always encourages me. Every now and again, I do go through a little phase of saying, oh, that radio show is too much hustle. I ain't got time to do it. And she's always saying, don't you ever dare pack it in. You know. So there's people will miss that radio show, and you're doing, But if I thank my wife Kathy for the support. And all the support in the past when I was in bands and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So she always supported me in the music and stuff like that. So
I did notice when I was getting some photos earlier. I don't know whether it was this year or the last few years. 25 years wedding anniversary.
Oh, what, married?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're way over that now. I think we're coming up to our 38th year this year.
38 years.
38. I don't know what I was looking at then, but yeah. Must have been
There's probably an old picture, yeah.
38, blimey.
If I'm not right, she's going to watch this podcast and beat me up.
Well done to Catherine, basically, yeah. 38.
She's put amazing time, but now she's giving me a lot of support, really. A lot of support.
That's really nice. Yeah. Right, Doc. We'll do a goodbye now. So we do a pretend goodbye, and then we'll say goodbye properly because we don't just like to log off. That's rude. So, we'll do a. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant.
You're welcome. I really enjoyed it.
See you on May the 20th.
Right. Catch you later, guys. Bye.
There we go. Fake goodbye.
That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat!